Boom. We are recording. Hello, Jacob.
Hello, Andre.
We're here again. You and I doing the chat thing.
I love the chat thing. I love talking about with you and all the interesting things we come up with.
It's always a good time. How's it going?
Going pretty good. Just got my child to sleep, so that's a win for the night.
That is a win.
Other than that, I mean, as you can see, I got my botched haircut that everyone can view. Usually have bangs. They decided to cut them off at first thing. They went, and I had no chance to tell them to keep the bangs. So here I am.
So I'm curious, like, how did that even happen? Because you definitely must, I mean, you walked in with bangs, and was it somebody new, or where do you
It
get
was
your hair?
someone new. So I told them what I wanted. And as I was saying, gotta keep the bangs long, they went, and it was just like a second too soon that they started cutting because they were busy. And yeah, here I am.
Was your description when you sat, so I don't get my hair cut out of place. Obviously, it's pretty low maintenance, but don't you kind of talk to the person beforehand?
Usually, and I usually go to the same person that knows my haircut because I go every like month or whatever, and I've been going to the same place for 4 years, so I know the people very well. So this individual I just did a quick walk-in, new to the
Oh, it froze up.
barbershop, and I told him what I wanted. And
You know what? I just saw something.
Oh, Dre, you're frozen. You there, Andre?
Oh,
You're back.
you're back. I'm back. You're back.
You had a blip there.
I was just saying before we jumped on here, I was reading that apparently Zoom has been slow lately.
Oh, really?
So, and I've been on a couple calls with some people, and it's been kind of doing the same thing. It hasn't frozen up like it just did, but I don't know.
See, I never use Zoom. I'm always on Microsoft Teams. So
Yeah,
I never
me
use
too.
Zoom, like huge town halls. We get like half the organization together and they talk. But other than that, I'm never on Zoom.
We should have tried this on Teams, because I've got Teams on, like, for my non-work account, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
No, of course.
But yeah, what I was saying was, like, like with the boys, I've brought them in for haircuts, and usually it's hey, cut a little bit off the side here or whatever. Like, there's a discussion before they just start clipping, and they usually are, asking those questions right away. But apparently that doesn't happen when you're an adult.
I mean, I told him exactly what I wanted. I wanted a sports cut and leave some on the top. Well, I don't think they left some on the top. And like as I was saying, like leave some on the top, he's like, and I'm just like, okay. If I'm having no bangs for a little while, it'll go back. Like I'm not that mad about it. I'm just kind of like a little frustrated in the moment. Once I go to bed and wake up in the morning, I'll be fine. Like
it's a new look.
The new look for a few weeks, and then I'll get my normal haircut back.
That's right. Well, that's cool. How's everything else going?
Everything else is going good. I mean, work-wise, can't complain. Oh, you should actually, we got that French bulldog. So
yeah. So what's his name?
His name is Kevin from the movie The Minions.
Okay.
The little yellow guys. So the reason why Courtney and Liam picked that name was because the first time we went to the drive-in movie theater. We went to go see the new Minions movie, Despicable Me, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And Liam loves Kevin, like just makes him laugh. So we ended up naming the dog Kevin. And one of my good friends from high school, his name's also Kevin. So
nice.
Yeah.
So how does Kevin feel about you naming him after him, a dog after him?
He absolutely loves it.
Honored.
Yeah, he was actually kind of honored.
It's very nice. Yeah, we got to play some disc golf this weekend.
We did at BSR.
And you won.
Yeah.
You won overall too, didn't you? Or did you guys tie?
Nope. I won overall by a stroke, and then Gary and I won the teams.
Nice. Yeah, Gary and I, we were talking about it on the way home, and I guess we tied up. But then I was saying, technically, there was that one hole that Chris was like, "We'll just mark you down for 6 for me," and it's quite possible I wouldn't have made that last shot. So Gary could have had the win over me on that one, but we'll take an asterisk on it.
Well, to that point, Chris never said if we're playing in or out of bounds at BSR. And I threw out of bounds on one hole, and I made it. I kind of went to my desk quickly and threw it back into bounds. And Chris never caught on because I think he's actually talking to you about something. And I'm like, well, he never said he's not playing out of bound rules, so I'm gonna count that as 1 stroke, not 2.
I played out of bounds like 4 holes, so if that's the case, Gary easily won over me by at least 4.
I love Chris, but he's definitely a betting man.
Yeah, that was the strangest thing. I mean, I guess I get it because we're gonna play poker originally, and then it changed to disc golf. But
I think he really wanted to play poker.
I really wanted to play poker, but I mean, I suppose we could have played before.
It's hard to get everyone together in the summer. Definitely near the end of the summer when kids are going back to school. I mean, it's, you're doing your school shopping, getting everything situated. I mean, it's just busy.
Yeah. Moving along. Chucking. So you were saying your kids start next week?
Yeah, next Tuesday on the 30th for a half day.
Yeah. Like mine goes back next Wednesday. They go back for 1 day and then they're off until the next week. So
yeah, it's the Labor Day. So the only reason why Liam's going to school on the 30th is because he's kindergarten. So pre-K, kindergarten, 5th grade, 9th grade to go, I believe, in our school district. So like when you enter like the new school or like the pre-K kindergarten, you enter school for the first time, they go for the half day. To get the induction, so they learn the school before the whole flood of kids come in. So
is that all in one school? Like, do you have your elementary pre-K through 5th or whatever?
So I believe in Soccer it's pre-K through 4th. No, pre-K through 3rd, and then 4th through 7th or 8th for middle school, junior high, and then 8th or 9th to 12th. I can't remember because they recently just changed it. So I'm trying to think of where that break off was and where what elementaries, what was the cap elementary? I couldn't remember if it was 4th or 3rd grade.
Because we had a change in ours. So our middle school has always been in Westbrook from 6th grade to 8th grade, but they moved the 5th graders into the middle school. So they're not middle school students, but they're at the middle school. Yeah. But they keep them pretty well separated. Like the teachers walk with the 5th graders throughout the halls and all that. So they have on separate floors. So there's not a whole lot of they try to minimize the interaction between the elementary kids and the junior high kids. So I don't know why I put those in quotes because they literally are elementary kids and junior high kids. The quotes weren't necessary. But
it's because it's 8:40 at night.
That could be it too. So I am super interested in the conversations we've been having on and off that Gary was very big on poo-pooing the whole time. He's just a bitter man. But
we need one bitter man in the group.
Yes. Is he the oldest?
He is the oldest.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if Freddie was older than him or not, but
no, I think Gary beats him up by a year or 2.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just his place to crush all these young guys' dreams. But we were talking about NFTs originally,
correct?
And that whole thing. I guess I understand an NFT. I'll give my explanation of an NFT because to my understanding, brief knowledge, and then I'll let you correct me on everything I said wrong. So as I understand it, an NFT is basically just some digital product,
Yes,
a non-fungible thing that you basically, there's only one of. So let's just pretend that I took a screenshot of you right now and then I put it in some whatever an NFT marketplace is, and that that screenshot of you would just be the only thing, and then people would buy or somebody would buy the rights to
correct.
that screenshot and they own it. And it kind of, I guess it would be like a trading card that doesn't have any other copies of it.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's all backed by the blockchain for security reasons.
Okay. So that's the other part of it, I guess, or the big part of it that makes it unique, right?
Correct. So you nailed that actually on the head. That's about as much as I know about NFTs as well. I don't know how to create them. I know there's platforms out there you can buy and sell and trade them, and so forth. And most of the time you need cryptocurrency like Ethereum or Bitcoin, or there's a few others they use as well. But the conversation you and I were having around NFTs, where how can they be more publicly used for the everyday individual? I mean, the yacht monkeys, they're great for the celebrities to trade around, like you said, like almost like player cards or baseball cards, so forth, to get into events and so forth. But how does you and I, how do we use the NFTs? And something I was just pondering was a restaurant, say like the Tuscan Table. You know what the Tuscan Table is? It's in South Portland. It's a higher end restaurant. And how about if they come out with 500 NFTs that are unique to the Tuscan Table, and within those NFTs, they sell for easy math $500 a piece. They get the initial surplus of money to get new equipment, hire new staff, whatever it may be, maintenance of the building to expand, could be whatever you want to use it for. And then with those NFTs, if say you and I bought one each, our families would have access to a quarterly or monthly, whatever cadence menu that's special to NFT users or holders, excuse me. And it would change every month or quarter and so forth. But the NFT does not pay for your meal. It just grants you access to this luxury club facility. I don't know how to word it, like a luxury club or luxury access to a special meal or a special menu.
Exclusive. It would be an
Exclusive. Thank you. Exclusive is what the word I was looking for. It's just food for thought, just throwing it out there. Maybe some restaurants might take on to it more than others. It probably has to be more of like a higher end restaurant, maybe more in the Boston or New York, or Chicago, San Diego kind of, demographic.
Mhm.
But it'd be a quick way for businesses to capture and secure revenue quickly, but also promoting the business in the marketing.
Okay, let's role play for a second here, and this might make me understand it a little bit better. I'm the restaurant,
Correct.
and you're approaching me and telling me this NFT idea. So I own Andre's Diner of high-end food because it's not just a diner, and we serve everything great. I'm really talking about my restaurant. I'm really talking it up right now. This is just a role-playing thing. I got into it. I'm sorry. So pitch me here, and that way I can ask questions.
Pitch you an aspect of
You're gonna how you have this RFT or this menu idea.
Yep.
Okay, so am I paying you? You're paying me $500, or I'm
Correct. So I pay you $500. So you created 500 NFTs, or 500 cards, for example, right? And you want to sell them for $500 a piece, because 500 is 500 is what? 25,000. What is 500 times 500? It's 9 o'clock at night. I can't do math. 250,000. That doesn't seem right. that right?
I'm awful at math. Let me see.
500
You
times
just you
500.
just used your calculator?
Yeah,
It's got to be right then.
250,000. That just seemed really high.
Assuming you didn't have a typo.
Right. Anyway, yeah, you can edit that out. 500 times 500 is 250,000, right? 250,000 is enough capital after you sold the NFTs to invest into a new location or to revamp the whole kitchen, or it could be a multitude of different things they might want to do at a restaurant, or to redo the whole menu from scratch. You know what I mean? And, and make that investment into that. Hire new staff. That's what they get initially from the NFT process by selling the NFTs off to consumers who want to buy it for these exclusive menu every, let's say quarterly. Okay. Quarterly, you can go in, once or twice, they put a cap on it to give you access to this menu. You have to schedule your, visit like you would have to, and then you get access to the menu. That NFT would not pay for that meal. You still have to pay whatever the price is for the meal at the restaurant. So the NFT is not purchasing the meal for you. It's just obtaining access to get the specialty menu.
So nobody else would be able to have access to this meal.
No one else but the 500 people who bought the NFTs. So
right.
Correct.
Okay. So it's
kind
of like
a
secret menu.
Almost like a secret menu. So it could be something like, a golden crusted steak, or tomahawk steak that normally in Maine you'd never find. You know what I mean? You have to go to Las Vegas to find that, or you have to go to Dubai to find that kind of stuff, or in high in New York. But in Maine, there's nothing like that, at least that I know of.
Okay, so from the customer point of view, that would be buying the NFT. How's that market put out there first? So somebody's just kind of looking online in the NFT thing, or is the restaurant pitching that out, or
it'd be the restaurant pitching it out? So they'd have to come up probably with some of the capital to do the marketing thing, to get some voice out there into the community of this is what we're looking to do. Are people interested? And if people are interested, they go follow through with the NFT process. I mean, it's not saying that every restaurant would be able to do this. Some restaurants have a cult following, and it's hard to get in there. Other restaurants, you go in there on a Saturday and they're almost dead. So it depends on the restaurant, depends on the people who want to go.
So, and then if do I know as a customer what's on that menu, or do I have to buy it and then it's like a surprise?
So the initial roll up of the 500 customers, I would assume, the restaurant itself, let's say, example, the contestant table would have to put out examples of what they would put out for the first and second quarter, just, to get people interested. Afterwards, it'd be almost like a surprise of this is what's coming out there. They probably do like one seafood, one meat, one vegetarian, one vegetarian, and so forth. So, they hit the demographics. But the menu would be, how can I put it? It's small, but very exclusive and very high end.
Yeah, your video just cut out. I can kind of hear the audio. It's kind of funny because it cut off at the like perfect time. Like you finish your sentence and then all of a sudden, Jacob Button. I don't know if you're coming back. But I can kind of hear you. I like the idea. If you can hear me, I like the idea. And I'm wondering with the menu size. So if it's a small menu, that it's kind of like you get what you get on the menu, or if it's a matter of you can choose, make your selections off of the menu. Kind of like if you go to there are some fancy restaurants that you just, pay the dinner price and then you get whatever menus there. You may be able to make a few selections, but typically not a lot.
Correct. I'm still listening, Dre. I'm just
Oh, your
troubleshooting.
video is just off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. We might have to take a intermission of like 2 minutes so I can unplug my laptop.
Yeah, that's fine. I will pause and we'll be right back. Like we never left.
Technical difficulties.
So I didn't remember where we were at. So we were just talking the
It was the
demographics. You see, this is gonna look really weird because like, oh, just a cut, and then all of a sudden, what happened? How long were they gone for? It wasn't even that long. But I was thinking while we had taken a little break, if kind of like who the target audience would be for purchasing these. Like I would, if you're selling for 500 a piece, I would imagine somebody with expendable money, and then somebody who enjoys food. And then depending on how we did, that's where we're at. We're kind of questioning, or I was questioning the surprise factor, or if it's something that they knew about, like the menu's going to be there, or if it's a matter of, and then even the menu itself, is it a what you see is what you get, or is you can pick and choose a couple things from it? You muted.
Well, it would be more like what you see, what you get in aspect. It is a unique experience. It is exclusive. But for my example of like a golden crested tomahawk steak, there's not much else you can alter with it. And that's a prime piece of meat with obviously exclusively putting flaked gold on it. So you kind of get what you get. That is the meat option. The seafood option could be, I'm not a big seafood guy, but like a 3 lobster meal with a special glaze with some other special like sea creature that is unique to even name.
Cthulhu.
Say again?
Cthulhu.
Sure. Yeah, not a seafood guy really. So something like that, or it could be a unique seafood that's not even lobster for Maine. It could be something that's more popular in Japan or over in England and so forth, that they bring in special for this. And then I don't eat much vegetarian food, so I only go down that road. But yes, it would be people with expendable income, or a person who absolutely enjoys this restaurant, and the family pitches in and gets them this NFT for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That is their Christmas gift. They get an NFT that they can use for the rest of their life, as long as this restaurant's in business, to go quarterly to get this special meal.
So it's kind of like a mug club kind of thing. Like I'm part of the mug club over at Wessie's Den, and they have I don't know how frequently they plan on having it, but they had a mug club only night over there, and it's typically closed on that night, and then but except for the people who were part of the mug club were able to go in there and drink alcohol. But but yeah, so that kind of level of exclusivity comes into play. And I think from a restaurant point of view, kind of like, have you heard of the Lost Kitchen?
I haven't actually.
So the Lost Kitchen is a restaurant that you have to you basically send them a postcard, and they put everybody's postcards into something, and they do a drawing, and then they pull at once. I don't know how frequently they do it or anything like that, but it's very hard to get into. Like people are waiting to go all the time. I have a couple friends who have gone, and they loved it. It's pricey, but you're getting an excellent meal. It's a very intimate experience. You get, I don't remember what they said it's seated there, but it's, only a few people, probably only a couple parties at a time to fill, let's
So I
just say
guess
10
that's more of
seats.
what I'm thinking too, it's experience kind of so forth. Like you said, it's a couple parties and it's not crowded. So yeah, I guess you elaborate on that a lot. What's going on with Lost Kitchen would be more what I'm thinking towards the NFT process as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think from that restaurant point of view, especially if you're talking about someplace like a Tuscan Table, let's say, they have, they have good food. I enjoy it, but I think if they have chefs or whatever, who really wanted to explore, better things and just don't necessarily have it in, like you say, they didn't have it in their budget to go ahead and invest in a lot of higher end things that they want to, because you're running that risk as to who's gonna buy that. You don't want to sit on that, whatever, and you don't want to sell for the wrong price. But if you have something like this, you have it planned out, and that every quarter, once a quarter, that this exclusive group of NFT people are going to be coming in, or however that timing is set up, and you put it on that menu then, and if you have to reserve ahead of time to say, hey, I'm going to use my NFT access, then you can certainly plan ahead for that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good approach.
And like I said, like when you and I talked about this before, this podcast was more of like, what if kind of thing. So obviously there's a lot of room to move either direction with it. Just kind of spitballing.
Yeah. I think I would even look at it as like you say that you had said that it wouldn't be, it was your price of the meal wouldn't be included in that. But I think you could probably put it in a way like there where it would be. I mean, that would be another bonus to it. And that would, require not getting super, you'd have to adjust the price compared to the meals that you're going to be doing. So, maybe you would want to sell it for $20 and then, be doing the golden crusted tomahawk steaks. You would take a hit. But
I mean, and I've also thought about too, when you and I were talking, and before I jumped on this podcast with you, how can like the less luxury, restaurants like take advantage of it? For example, like a deli in Westbrook or a deli, no matter where they are, can they do a cheap NFT? Can it be like $100? And can that give them, these customers a secret, not like luxury food, but there's a secret menu to the deli that only these people can get. I mean, TikTok's huge right now. I'm guilty of watching a few TikTok videos every once in a while. And I know there's a few different delis in New York that, are doing these unique sandwiches right now and doing all kinds of things for the customers. But what if they could like get the, equity up front to expand the business or to correct issues in the deli or whatever it could be, to expand, like I was saying before, and then just serve the customers they do now, but with a exclusive secret menu to a few.
That would be good. Like you could,
Yeah, I mean,
and the part of that I wonder though is so say I'm a customer who knows that the secret menu type thing exists and I don't have exclusive access to it. I mean,
it'd be an upcharge.
What's that?
It'd have to be an upcharge.
Actually, yeah, because then you could
It
like,
has to be, because as the owner, you can't just say no.
right.
That aspects, then you're putting out, bad publicity. It just has to be an upcharge. Like,
So I mean,
unfortunately, you don't
basically,
have
you're just
MC.
running a discounted rate, a special club, a discount club for members. I mean, it's food membership, which I don't think is a bad thing. I mean,
No, Then I'm just thinking AARP now.
That's just it. Senior, everybody gets a senior citizen discount for a price.
That's all I can think about when you said food discount. I'm like, oh god.
But another creative way you could that it could work would be if let's just say as a you're a chef that's doesn't work in a specific kitchen, a specific restaurant or something like that. But if you were to sell a membership in NFT as an NFT or whatever, which said, hey, I'm going to be cooking this at this restaurant, then that would allow the restaurants that would be participating, allowing you to go into their kitchen and do these special event type things on a rotating basis. That would give them incentive to promote, assuming that you're an excellent chef, would, want you in their kitchen to do whatever you're going to do, or and then the people who purchase the NFTs would have the opportunity to, try different atmospheres. You're working within that atmosphere, putting your own twist on it with your food and all of that. And then it's kind of like have you seen the stand-up secret shows?
Yes.
Yeah. So that type of deal where I'm on some email list that's whenever a secret show pops up around here. I've been to one, the first one they did, and I haven't seen anything else in the area, but okay. But yeah, it'd be the same thing with food, because there's something I enjoy going out to eat, and here in Portland, we're pretty fortunate in the sense that there's plenty of restaurants to choose from. But I know when I've traveled to other places that does not have the broad span of restaurants that are there, it's difficult to find some place to eat that I'm sure that I'm gonna like or whatever. But
Right, that's not McDonald's or Applebee's, or
Applebee's is delicious in its own way.
if you like microwave food, yes.
Their catering, have you ever gotten their their takeout stuff? Like if you get I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Like we got like a big thing of, I don't know if it was ribs, or we got a bunch of different platter stuff and brought it home. It was good price, decent food. I'd do it again.
Talking about this restaurant food, I'm hungry right now, and you know what I could really go for? It's a Five Guys burger.
I've never been. I'm not a huge burger fan, but I've
You've
heard.
never been to Five Guys?
I've been to Five Guys, and I've gotten a cheeseburger there, but it's something that I'm just like, all right, it's a burger. Like I like to. I don't trust like restaurant burgers because I'm picky and I don't like condiments. I don't like lettuce or tomatoes or anything like that. And so I feel like every time I go to a burger place and I order a plain burger or just a cheeseburger, I run the risk of them thinking that a cheeseburger includes all of these things on it. And I've had when I was younger, I've had those, like, you're standing at the counter, is like, with just cheese on it. Do you want blah, blah, blah? No, I just want cheese on my burger. Don't put anything else. And then they put something else on it and I can't eat the burger. And my mom's like, just take it off. I was like, no, it's tainted the burger. I can't do it. So now I just don't even bother with it. So I won't order burger places. I'll do McDonald's burgers. I'll do, Burger King, the fast food stuff. And yes, they put all those condiments on there. Like, I get it. But over the years of eating it, I've gotten used to it and I can accept that flavor. I'm not really willing to accept another flavor.
I can appreciate that.
Did like the fries at Five Guys though. Like they had some seasoned fries or spicy fries or something that were really good.
Yeah. See, I'm big on like spicy grilled stuff. So like at Five Guys, I get jalapeno peppers, I get grilled onions, and I get barbecue sauce. And I actually get one other thing grilled. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. I don't see in the menu, but they grill it all up, and it's a nice spicy burger. And I love it.
That sounds delicious, actually. Like, do they
So,
have lettuce and all that stuff on it? Or
yeah.
there's
So
just those things?
yeah, just those things. So when you go to the Five Guys, you literally just you get the whole menu of condiments, and you tell them exactly what condiments you want on, and they won't put any of those condiments on.
They're honest guys.
They're honest guys. Like they ask you, do you want a cheeseburger? They're like, yep. They go, what condiments you want? And you say no, it's gonna be no condiments. But they're like, if you want ketchup, they'll put ketchup on. It's how the structure of their business model works is you could put every condiment you want on their burger for the same price if you want to get no condiments. So you get the lettuce, tomato, the onion, the pickle, the grilled jalapenos, the grilled onions, and you go down the list, and all the sauces could be the same price as the guy like you, Dre, that wants just cheese in the burger.
I'm gonna have to try this. I'm gonna give Five Guys a chance.
So when you go in, just say I want a cheeseburger and say no condiments, like no nothing, and they'll be honest with you. No, if you're a cheeseburger.
Well, now I want the burger you described, though. That sounded really good. Because I used to love the rodeo cheeseburger at Burger King. You ever had that?
You got to make sure you ask for it to be grilled, though, like grilled jalapenos. Because if not, they'll throw raw ones on. And I don't mind raw jalapenos, depending on the day, but I prefer them grilled.
Yeah, it sounds better grilled.
Yep. And they saute it in the the beef patty fat right next to the patty. So you get the flavor of the burger within the onions and the jalapenos.
Oh God, what time do they close?
Probably 9. And I was just like, I really want to go. Like, I wish I was at Yo Way because everything in Cornish is closed. Let's see. Five Guys, South Florida. We do have to do this at one time at least at your place. Maybe next week.
Yeah, I'd be up for it.
They actually close at 10 in South Florida.
Oh. Talk to you later. I got actually, yeah, they're not far away from me at all. In South Florida, I just drove out there. So I went to Guitar Center. It's in that right in that plaza there.
Yep.
And I don't know why I always thought Guitar Center in that area was a farther drive than it was for me, but I think it was just because I was taking the longer way. Like I'd go around through Westbrook. I've always gone up Spring Street through Westbrook and then cut down to the mall, that area. And then last week or the week before, for whatever reason, I decided, well, I'll just take the turnpike and hop off at the exit 46, the airport exit, and just cut around there. It was so fast. I've been missing out all
how
years.
Close you are to everything.
Yeah,
like, I'm envious of you. Of like, you're like, oh, I want to go to the mall. It's like 5 minutes, maybe 7 if I'm traffic. I want to go to the mall. It's like 50. I'm almost like, oh.
That's a great. I mean, Westbrook's one of those places where it is just like, and especially where I live in Westbrook, it's literally right on the line of Portland to get in town. So if I want to go into Portland, it's a straight drive just down Brighton Avenue. If I want to go any place else in Maine, the turnpike is just off that way. If I want to go to Westbrook someplace, it's all walking distance. So
Courtney and I will be buying, probably not Westbrook, because you know my feelings of Westbrook. Buying a place near the interstate, near other people that's not in Cornish, probably the next 5 years.
really?
So yeah, Courtney and I we're taking out equity in our house right now to pay some stuff down, but cutting some trees down, put a garage in, just to build up our net worth. And with the equity and everything, depending how the student loans hit me month to month and the bills, when they finally stop coming back again, so I have to pay. We'll think about buying some land and try to slowly develop something.
Nice.
Yeah. Long-term goals, gotta have them.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about, I've constantly pushed for moving, not necessarily out of Westbrook, but just out of this house at some point in time. But I don't know. I've become accustomed to it. I don't need to move anywhere, but I do want to eventually get like a ranch. Like I don't want multiple floors and a basement and all that stuff as I get older. Not that not that I'm expecting to become decrepit or anything anytime soon, but it'd be, who knows? Anything can happen.
That's very true. Anything can happen.
You you've seen Gremlins, right?
So you seen what?
Gremlins.
Actually, I've seen some of Gremlins, not all of it.
I can't throw any references your way,
You
Jacob.
can't. I mean, there's a. I will admit, hanging out with you, Freddie and Gary, sometimes I'm like, God, these references are going over my head because it's the movies that I know are classics that I should have watched, or I have watched, but I only watched it once or twice. I don't remember the scenes.
Yeah. Well, I won't waste your time with this reference, but watch Gremlins. I will tell you though, there's a great scene that involves a lady on one of those chairs that like go up the electric chairs that like go up the stairs.
Yep.
Great scene there in Gremlins. I was gonna reference it. I guess I did kind of reference it right there, but that's your homework assignment. Watch Gremlins. Don't watch it with Liam though.
Okay. So
Because I we watched it with our older kids when they were younger and they still believed in Santa Claus. Completely forgot there's a scene in there where the lead character's girlfriend, the lead female in it, starts talking about how her dad died. And her dad died, spoiler alert, he was dressed up as Santa Claus and was going down the chimney and got stuck. And they found him in the chimney. It's not funny, but basically she's like, and that's how I knew Santa didn't exist. And it's just like you're watching that with the kids, and it's like, oh, like, did that go over their head, or do I have to explain this at all? So
yeah, my wife would kill me.
if you dressed up as Santa and tried to go down your chimney.
Yeah, that too. But she's big into Easter. She's big into Halloween, Christmas, all the holidays. Like the day that Liam doesn't believe in it, it's gonna be a rough day. I got like 9 initial Liam's up there.
When I was a kid, well, when did you stop believing?
Probably around 8 or 9.
Like, did you figure it out, or did somebody tell you, or
Oh, someone definitely told me at school.
for all of them?
For more of the Santa Claus one. The Easter Bunny I found out pretty easily. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it's Easter. The bunny doesn't really exist. The Santa Claus one I found out at school. Someone told me it didn't exist. Then you're heartbroken that something doesn't exist, and then you realize, well, it actually kind of makes sense why it doesn't exist.
Yeah. What about the Tooth Fairy?
That one took me longer.
Now, did it take you longer, or did you not want to give up on that belief? Because that's a profitable one.
I can't recall completely because obviously it's been so long ago, but I have to probably say both.
Yeah. Well, you got siblings,
the aspect
right?
of like, I don't want to stop believing because then, your mom and dad won't stop put money underneath your pillow.
Mhm.
But this, fairies can't really be real, can they?
Yeah.
Kind of on the road with the bunny.
And you've got siblings too, right?
I do.
On both
I
ends?
definitely ruined it for them. Well, him. I have one sibling.
Oh, okay. So just the younger one?
Yeah.
I know with our kids, like when Kyle's older than Caitlin, not by much, but he didn't believe anymore. Caitlin still did believe. And I distinctly remember a conversation between Kyle and his mom basically saying like, all right, look, you can't ruin this for Caitlin or whatever, because if you do, then you're not going to get whatever presents or whatever. It was like a threat going on there to keep that alive. But I think the Tooth Fairy one, at least with our kids, it was a matter of, we kind of figured out like they don't believe anymore and they're just milking us for money at this point. So, which, hey, all the more respect for them on that.
Just being young entrepreneurs. That's all.
That's right. How else are they getting their money? We weren't giving them allowance.
Right. It's a passive income.
Yeah.
Just gotta lose a few teeth.
I remember I found out from school from somebody that one of them didn't, I think it was Santa Claus didn't exist. And then I asked my mom about it and she was like, yeah, he doesn't exist. And the Easter Bunny doesn't exist. And the Tooth Fairy doesn't, just wiped it all out. And all right.
Clean the table. I'm done with this. Now we have the Elf on the Shelf. Oh my God.
Elf on the Shelf?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, so you would have been of that age to where that was popular, right?
No. So I never did Elf on the Shelf. Liam does.
Yeah. They had it when you were a kid though, didn't you?
Oh.
My
parents never did it.
Not your parents necessarily, but like.
I don't remember it actually.
Because I feel like you're not too much. What's that?
I'm 26.
Yeah, so you're not too much older than Kyle and Caitlin, and it was a thing then, but we didn't do it. Like I've always thought it was creepy as anything. Actually, I have one. Nope. Speaking of, it's funny. Right here.
I have no comments for that.
So somebody bought that for one of the kids or for the family some Christmas years and years ago, and it's creepy. Like the regular Elf on the Shelf's creepy enough. This one just looks even creepier, and none of the kids were ever impressed with the looks of it and stuff. And so it was always it just stayed with the Christmas decorations though. And then I would take it out and then it would get hidden. And then so I just found it recently, or not recently, a while ago, and had put it up in the basement, just on our walkway going down there. And it was up there for a while and nobody had seen it. And Dominic's room is down in the basement. So he saw it at maybe about a month ago or so and put it up in my room. And then so I just had it kind of sitting on a corner. And then I made a video with it the other day. And so that's why it's readily available for me to pull out anytime Elf on the Shelf is spoken about.
So you're not a time traveler. You didn't know we're going to talk about this and just kind of stash it behind you and pull it out.
I can't give away all my secrets.
So I told you to look into the new Ninja. Oh, you probably can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
Almost on the book. I got like probably 20 pages left, so I'll probably finish that tonight quite a bit. It looks like you found the older version for free online.
No. I found what I had sent you was he was just giving a talk, Gary Shapiro.
Oh, okay. Because I saw it was like 8 years ago. I'm like, how this edition was published until like 2018.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in that he's talking about like 3D TVs.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is a little bit dated, but he was not a fan of 3D TVs.
Yeah, he wasn't. And I don't know, I just find this book very fascinating, the aspect that, it touches on a lot of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, so it gets, obviously as an everyday consumer, we know probably just as much as he did at the time about this stuff. Because, it's been 4 years and how the technology has changed in 4 years. But just the way that the book is written and the thought process of, how the CEOs are attending these events and, pushing the limits, and how the United States is like, why we were a leader in technology is because of laws and regulations surrounding the whole governance of technology firms. We've kind of let them go crazy and build what they needed to build without limitations. It's only recently that, these CEOs have been dragged in front of Congress and berated, Mark Zuckerberg and the Google, CEO of Google and so forth. But before that, like he said in the book, is like they kind of had free reign to do and act as they please.
Mm.
And because of that, they've been able to innovate so fast and to beat out everyone on the globe. I mean, the global standpoint.
It's
So,
interesting.
I just find it fascinating.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Anyway, do you mind if I borrow that when you're done with it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, next time you're down here, just bring it. I'm reading a book now, Five Forces That Change Everything.
Forces that change everything.
I'm about halfway through it now. It's pretty shorter than that. But it's interesting that, you talk about that kind of freedom that companies have had to do things. One of the things they're talking about in the book now is like cryogenics, cloning, extending life, and all the research that's been going on into that. And a lot of it's in different countries and in other countries, and a lot of it's kind of underground type stuff. There's a whole section on how, I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's like people augmenting their bodies to do whatever, and it's just experiments. There's nothing that you can't go to a surgeon to get these things done because it's against the law. Like the hospital doctors are not allowed to do that. There's a reason for it, probably a good reason. But so these people are like doing these things on Earth. Like there's one guy that was talking about he talks about one guy who, him and his wife have implants in their hands or someplace, I think it's their hands, that they can basically send impulses to each other. So like if you had one and Courtney had one, you would be able to, do something with your hand, like whether it's make a fist or whatever, but Courtney would feel that wherever she's at. Like she would be, she could be at work or whatever, and you could be at home, and then you would do that and she would feel that. And and they're talking about how like it's a way that they stay connected. It's like made them more closer, because like as they're far apart, they're still really connected and doing that. But that type of thing, that kind of like technology doing that, is it's just kind of in using your own resources or whatever to go through and like push boundaries of what's possible. Like nobody else is thinking, yeah, let's try this or whatever. You're just
This
kind of
is
going.
fascinating. I Googled it quickly when you were talking and listening to you. This is definitely a book I want to read.
Yeah. When I'm done with it, I'll try to get it done before the end of the week. It won't be taking long. We can do a little book swap there.
Oh yeah, your book's probably more interesting than mine by far. I feel like doing like a quick skim of like the chapters and so forth on the preview. I'm like, wow, this looks extremely fascinating.
Yeah, it's really cool. I picked it up at Books a Million a couple weeks ago. One of those, or not, however long ago I did, and it's pretty new. I think it was published in 2020, maybe. So it's pretty recent stuff that's in there.
That's awesome. I'm guilty of going to Goodwill and finding all my books. So there's like books like on my wish list I know I want. So I don't, so I'll stop in the Westbrook one or the Quorum Goodwill and be like, the screws quickly around, by myself, or like, or Courtney will go do something. Like if we're in this Portland, she'll go to Christmas tree shop. I'm like, all right, I'm going to Goodwill to look at books.
I love.
It's good. You get a book for $1. I mean, yes, it's a little dated, but it's $1. But then it's like the one you have right here. You definitely have to go to Books a Million to get it new.
Right. Yeah, we just went down to Boston a little bit ago, and there's a bookstore there that had this whole racks and racks of dollar books. So I do the same thing. Like anytime I see old books or cheap books or whatever, I'll kind of poke around to see if there's something interesting. I found so many books that I've got four books there that I picked up. And is that Courtney?
Nope. I want to share a book.
Oh, actually, while you're
You're talking about books. I'm like, oh, I have a few books actually. A lot of my books are actually in the other room near my bed.
This is what I got. The Purposes of American Power for $1. Which
Yep.
is have I read that one? I haven't started. No, I did start that one, which is actually really interesting because this one, I started reading it a couple weeks ago, and it talks about Russia and the Cold War and all that, and basically where America kind of made these their international policies relating to Russia and China and all that. And I think it was back in 1979. So it's a really cool history perspective on that compared to today. And it kind of, the author of it, it's basically a big essay, talks about some of the issues with it and the dangers of it and where we're at today. I got this: baseball's best managers. I don't care about baseball at all, but it was $1. And I was like, we'll see if there's anything interesting. The Merchant Bankers, which looks kind of interesting. It's about like the great financial families of the world. And this one for $1, The History by Herodotus, which, have you ever heard of this?
I have not.
So he was, it's I can't remember if he's like Greek or whatever. But anyway, it's this in-depth history of like Xerxes and Persia and like ancient times. And he'd travel around and get stories, and it's this thick volume. But this one was probably my favorite one so far, The Medieval Machine. And it just talks, it's the Middle Ages and the industrial stuff that they were doing, the Industrial Revolution of the Middle Ages. So they're talking about the water wheels and stuff and the impact there and how they were constructed. And there's a lot of politics that went along with it and that I had no idea about, but just really fascinating stuff. But yeah, like finding those old books and for cheap, you're like, yeah, why not give it a try?
So the build on what you just said, like I got a book in the other room. I have to go like 2 rooms over to get it in the bedroom. But it's guns, gunpowder, steel, and I think it's an innovation. And Bill Gates read it, so it's kind of on my list of one to get. And it's an older book, but it's like, back in the, I wouldn't say medieval. It's more like what you say was the what age?
The Renaissance.
Yeah, more like the Renaissance. Like they're trying to establish themselves, and what's stopping them and so forth. So like that's what's on the cover. And I haven't actually read a page of it yet. I'm actually trying to finish up the Ninja Future before I jump into that book, because I'm guilty of starting too many books and not finishing any of them. So I'm trying to be very minded of myself that I need to finish a book, then go to the next one.
Yeah.
I'm so guilty of that. But some of the books I got for cheap was, I love Malcolm Gladwell. He's one of my favorite authors.
Oh yeah.
What is the
I haven't
dog?
read that one.
Yeah, I haven't ever seen this one either. And I got it for, I think it was like $1.50 at Goodwill. So I read a lot of his other books. I like reading about presidents of the United States. So I got the John Adams.
Oh yeah.
So,
David McCullough. Yeah, he's a good author too.
and then the other book I got was this one. Just, I'll be honest with you, the illustration caught my eye. So let's see if I can get it zoomed in or not. Hold on.
The Aftermath.
Yeah, Aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's blurry.
Aftermath of what?
Hold on. Let's see if I can stop this blur. Let's try that.
Oh.
So, Aftermath of 7 Secrets of Wealth, Preservation. I can't speak. In the coming chaos, so preserving wealth.
I'm interested.
And obviously, the Ninja Future and the last book. I didn't buy this at a discount. Corey got me the American whiskey book.
Oh, is it the history?
History of all the whiskeys and whiskey is in general. And if I flip through it, there's everything from, the black labels to, wild turkey to, all the rye whiskeys. And right near the end of the book, it gives like individual like whiskeys of, like why they're created, where they're created, where you get them. I mean, it's unique. I started reading it, but then I stopped because I do that.
Whiskeys are pretty fascinating. Like how it was pretty much, it's a strictly American drink for the most part. Like that's, isn't it?
American and Japanese.
What's that?
American. Oh no, I wouldn't say it's strictly American. The book I have is strictly American.
Well, I wouldn't say like it's known as an American drink. I don't mean strictly American, like because there's Japanese whiskeys and all that stuff. But you think of like wine is a French drink, for example.
Yes.
Whiskey is a.
Yeah. We have whiskey and we have beer.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's getting late. 9:40 at this point, so I think we wrap it up. We've been going for a bit.
Of course.
And I think I will certainly finish up my book, The Five Forces That Change Everything. And by the time we see each other again, perhaps this weekend, get some poker going on or something.
Let's hope.
Do a little book exchange.
Sounds good to me, Jay.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.